What's going on, boys? Welcome to today's video. Today we basically just have a drop spot video on literally the best drop spots in season 7. As you guys know, the season did drop and we have like some insane drop spots, some insane stuff. The season's really good and we're gonna go over some things about the season and then we're gonna get into the best drop spots. So yeah, make sure if you guys haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notification. If you are planning to buy the battle pass, use code Rakic. Please make sure to subscribe. We're trying to get 50,000 on this channel before the end of the year. It's gonna be really difficult, but with your guys' support, I believe we can do it. So please help your boy out. Okay, to start off, we've got a lot of new things that are coming into the season. Some things coming back, some things getting vaulted, whatever the case is. We're just gonna go over some of the main points that I picked up right at the start of the game. So basically, they are moving llamas now. Right? I don't know, their llamas run around and you can. It's a bit weird. I'm pretty sure you can just hit them or whatever the case is. It's the same scenario and you get the loot or whatever the case is. That's just like a quick thing to note that they sometimes run around and stuff like that. There's no more such things as mechanical parts or primal bones, of course, because it's not primal season. There's a thing called nuts and bolts, and you use those to side grade. So basically, you can take a pump and side grade it to a lever. You can take a scar, side grade it to side grade it to a burst or a what is it? An org. Okay, so yeah, you can also take a scar and side grade it to an org. So the nuts and bolts are just used for side grading weapons, basically. Another thing to note is that upgrading gold has changed, so you can upgrade from upgrading stations are back, but it is used for gold. The amount of gold that you have to use to upgrade has actually significantly increased, but it is actually a lot easier to get gold from like phone booths and certain things like that. You'll see some footage on the screen of that right now. But yeah, from a uncommon to common, it is 200 gold. From a common to rare, it is 300 gold. From a rare to epic, it is 400 gold. And from epic to legendary, it is 500 gold in an upgrade station. So it is quite a lot, but there are a lot of ways to get gold and it's quite easy to do so. Anyways, moving on, we have a new gun added to the game, which is called the rail gun. It is really broken, it's really stupid, and it can shoot people and kill them through bullets. I'll put a video on screen of that now. Anyways, continuing on from that, there's at these new purple drops, name drops. So basically, you'll see on the map, it is a random thing. Each POI, every single game, there'll be 3 POIs in a game where they have these UFO drops, basically, and UFOs spawn there. Basically, what happens is they're just flying UFOs around and they can abduct teammates, they can abduct enemies and just make them float around and stuff like that. It's pretty weird, whatever the case is, but that's just something to note. Vending machines have come back. Vending machines have different uses now, though. It's basically sort of like an NPC, but it has certain functions, right? Some vending machines are healing vending machines. So basically, you can buy minis or bandages or made kits from them for gold. Use gold and they buy that. Or it could be a shotgun NPC, so you can buy a green or blue pump. There's a pistol NPC, or not NPC, vending machine, sorry, where you can buy different variants of pistols or whatever the case is, and you use gold for that as well. So it's basically like an NPC, but it is a vending machine. So there are another thing called phone booths. I did mention that a little bit earlier, but these phone booths, you get really easy challenges and you get a lot of gold for doing these challenges. They're all around the map, generally outside or near or inside named POIs. For example, like Craggy has one by the garage just outside there. So there's phone booths a lot of places where you can then go back to like Craggy and then upgrade from the upgrade station or whatever the case is. But yeah, that's just something to note. And then the last thing out of our information here before we get into the drop spots, we're going to get into the drop spots now. Deagles are back, they are broken, they're really cool. Pump Deagle meta, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, basically for you guys today, there are going to be 3 drops that I'm going to highlight for you. So the first one, which is actually insane, is Corny Complex. I've landed there a lot. It's very popular. It's probably like the tilted of the season or whatever you want to call it, because there is a mythic weapon that you can get from there. If you kill the NPC, you get a mythic pulse rifle. The pulse rifle is basically like the Stark rifle from a few seasons back, but it's a little bit less. It's not as good, basically. It's a little nerfed Stark rifle, but the mythic version is quite good. It hit hard. It's like an SMG and an infantry rifle mixed together. But yeah, there's a mythic weapon of that, and it's pretty decent. Some noticeable things about corny complex though is there's a few henchman chests lying around. There are vending machines, a lot. There's some downsides to it which we'll get into it now, but it also has a really good position on the map. You're quite centralized and stuff like that, are easy to rotate out of. There's a lot of chests at corny complex, and of course the vending machine really do help and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure there's an upgrade station, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure there's an upgrade station somewhere nearby. But the downsides of this is that the map, the drop spot is so loud. The music there is just unbelievably loud until you kill all of the IO guards, and there's also a lot of IO guards and stuff like that. So that's the only problem with the drop, but other than that, I genuinely think it's one of the best drops to see. Anyways, going on to the next drop, I don't know what all of these are called, but this one is basically the center, I don't know, IO guard base, which is near the bridge and also near Weeping in a sense, Lazy. It's in between there, where yeah, it's one of those drops over there. And basically, I personally think this is one of the best IO guard bases because there's a lot of stuff you can get from there. So basically, the first few things that are really noticeable over the other IO guard bases is this: at this base, you can buy a rift and you can buy a chug cannon from Rick, who is an NPC there. It does cost a lot of gold, of course, so if you do get the gold, if you do have the gold, make sure to go past it to get a rift or a chug cannon or whatever the case is. But more good things about the drop spot is there are 2 henchman chests there. There are cars and a launch pad pre-placed there for good rotations outside. Of course, it has a perfect position on the map because it's literally the center. And then of course it has a lot of brick and metal there because it is a base, so it uses a lot of hard mats there, so you'll get a lot of mats going there, and the position is just itself is just an absolute advantage. And then of course the henchman chest, so it's a really good drop. I really recommend you guys give this a try. Some good players have already claimed that. One of the players that I know that have claimed that is Chapix. He's taking that in all-star solo, so yeah, it is a really good drop spot. I really recommend looking at it. Okay, so moving on to our next POI that's pretty broken and also got a little bit of a buff. No drops of the season's actually really broken or anything like that. It's just some of the drops like selected have been like slightly improved. But another one of them is Stealthy. Stealthy's been improved a lot. So they aren't bunker chests anymore. So there were those 2 bunker chests outside of Stealthy, which made it quite broken last season. But this season it does have a new IO guard base and stuff like that. So it has gotten a little bit of a buff. It's basically exactly the same as like all of the drops I've mentioned before, so except for like no mythic weapons. So basically there are henchman chests, vending machines, there's a lot of mats. The most noticeable thing, the reason why Stealthy is also a really broken drop is because it has all of these IO guard features. So for example, getting pulse rifle, getting a lot of minis, because when you kill the IO guards you get minis. There's a lot of chests there, there's a lot of fishing. That's the most noticeable thing that makes it better than a lot of drops this season. It has fishing and it has the IO guard base, which has a lot of chests around it and stuff like that. A lot of mats there as well, so you'll be able to cap out all of your mats as a trio. You'll be able to fish, you'll be able to get all of these chests and stuff like that. There's vending machines, there's a launch pad, to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure there's a henchman chest. So it is also a really broken drop this season. I really recommend giving Stealthy a look at. Going on, the last drop spot that we're going to go over this video. I probably will make a part 2 of this because this is quite a long video, because I also went on some information about the season. But if I find any more drops like this, I will make a part 2 of this. So if we hit 500 likes on this video, I'll bring a part 2. So yeah, stay posted. Anyways, going over the last drop spot for this video, and this is probably my favorite drop spot for solos, due to the fact that it just got so much for it. Okay, so basically this is the IO guard base. Outside Slurpee. It's behind like the slurp barrel place on the left side of Slurpee. It's right in the corner of the map basically. And at this base you have a lot. So basically you have 10 slurp barrels, so you don't have to pop any shield if you're unconned. There's a henchman's chest there, there's a vending machine, there's a pre-placed launch pad, so the rotations out of there aren't going to be too hard. It takes you past like greasy or logjam, whatever you call it, when you hit the launch pad, so it takes you really far. And honestly, you have a lot of chests there for a solo, and you can cap out your mats insanely easy. You can get wood easily, brick, metal, all of that kind of stuff. So I really recommend trying out this drop as well. You're gonna get some insane loot. You get the pulse rifles, of course. It's not as good as a stock rifle, but at all of the IO guard bases you do get the pulse rifle, which is actually really good. So I really recommend looking at that.